Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Bright Side of Beauty podcast. Today, I am joined by Janelle Kenney from Zio Skin Health. Hi, Janelle.
Hi.
I'm so excited about today's episode because we're going to do a little bit of myth busting. But before we get into that, I would love for you to share a little bit about your journey into aesthetics, what brought you here, what brought you to Zio Skin Health, and we'll just take it from there.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, thank you. I am thrilled. I'm thrilled to be sitting here chatting with you one-on-one. This is going to be so fun. Okay, so how I got into aesthetics, I'll try to keep it brief. I got into aesthetics through experiencing some skin changes myself. So in my mid to late 20s, had a really fun shift where I started dealing with acne in a way that I had never dealt with. I'm sure you hear that in patients a lot of times.
All the time.
Exactly.
All the time.
Yeah. So started going to a local med spa where I was living, and they used Zio. They were they Zio exclusive back then? It's hard to remember. But it showed me that there was so much more to skincare than I ever realized. I was working in physical therapy at the time, and incredibly grateful for that career. I still enjoy talking anatomy and physiology, but the burnout was real. And I think long-term that wasn't the best fit for me and my personality. And so the burnout was real in a significant way. I was starting to kind of explore this aesthetics world and how to treat myself, but still wasn't considering a career in it at that point, not even crossing my mind. And then my husband, fiance at the time, we had the opportunity to move to Seattle. And so it was the perfect opportunity to kind of close the chapter on physical therapy and move on. And I have to be careful I don't get emotional because he was so incredibly supportive in that journey and really just was like, take your time, figure it out. How many people get an opportunity to just hit pause and figure out what really works best? Because think about
your reset button, basically. You got a reset button in your life.
I did. And not many people get that. And you also have to think, not that everybody chooses incorrectly at a young age, but think about your emotional maturity and your life experiences at the age of 18 when you're figuring out, here's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I know you went through a little bit of a career change, right?
Oh, a huge one.
I don't know why I said little.
Yes. I mean, that is a completely different. I always say that I have never worked a day in my life because I've only had fun jobs. But truly, when you think of like a theme park and tourism hospitality line of work versus aesthetic medicine, and it is medicine, that's a huge difference. But what I love is coming from physical therapy, you already were in a specialty of medicine.
Yeah.
And you just kind of shifted gears when you did. You got that reset button when you moved. So when you moved, what did that reset look like for you?
A lot of anxiety, a lot of panic initially because I still didn't know what direction I was going in. Very restless. But again, he would remind me, there's no rush, figure it out, choose what you think is really going to make you happy. A lot of Google searching, a lot of just reflection, as corny as that might sound, but just figuring out, okay, what things excite me? What things make me happy? Making other people happy makes me happy. Science and anatomy, and it just kind of all clicked. I don't want to say in one day, but it just kind of all came together. I was also in a state where medical aesthetics was a little bit more advanced than some other states, and so that was really motivating and also reinforcing for I am obsessed with this Zio. I know a lot of us say that we bleed blue. I, again, coming from a medical environment where I really do love the science, and then finding this brand that's more than just fluff, if you will, and really getting into the source of the problem and research going into the protocols and the ingredients and all the things. I'm like, yes. And so got into school there. Eventually we came back home and started practicing, and then eventually got to Zio as a trainer. And even when I see my old patients now, they're like, that works for you, because I would just chat their ears off about why they're doing what they're doing, whether they cared or not. No, I'm kidding. But I loved educating. And now I get to do that. I get to go all over and just talk to people about why you're doing what you're doing and how to build protocols and how to understand the skin. It's not just here's a product, apply it. It's really understanding the source of the problem. And I'm in love. I'm thrilled.
I think that passion is so important when you are an educator. I hear all the time from my patients. That's something for my patients that I'm extremely passionate about, is educating them on why they're doing something and the science behind it, so that they are fully bought into the products that they are using. And part of that is really understanding the science and getting the education on the science behind the products, behind the treatments that we're doing, how that blends together, how to then communicate that on. But the enthusiasm as you're communicating that is what makes the difference as an educator. And that is something that you definitely have when you are in workshops. And even just, if we reach out and ask a question about a product, you have that exact same enthusiasm, whether it's one-on-one or whether that is in a workshop in front of a group of people. So I love that so much. So did you work inside of a practice first and then start working for Zeo? Or was it kind of just like the science behind the products was where your base was? Like what was kind of your thought process in aesthetics when you started?
So I fell in love with Zeo before getting into aesthetics, just because that's what I was applying to my skin. Even throughout esthetician school, I was like, I'm going to a practice that
has it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was non-negotiable.
It was. I mean, when we moved back to Ohio and I was looking for places to go, I used the Zeo website to find providers in your area, because I'm like, this is where I want to be.
What a hack when you are looking for a job, like if you're moving or even if you're just moving on from one practice. I didn't even think about that. Going to the provider locator for a brand that you truly believe in and then backing into it that way. That is a job hunting hack right there. Wow, you hacked
I
the
knew
work
what I
field.
wanted, at least in that aspect. And so kind of went through, narrowed things down as you would any job to find the right fit. Worked in an office that was Zeo exclusive and really successful. And so that was quite the blessing, because I got a lot of time to focus on the products, on the ingredients, on the science. Amazing educators and reps within Zeo, had some fantastic exposure. And then the job opened up in Ohio, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I love that. And that's how we met, because you became our educator and you came into our practice, and we have grown to love you so much. And we actually were chatting at a workshop a couple of weeks ago. And I said, Janelle, I think that you should come on the podcast, because I think we could do a hot take myth busting episode. Because I am somebody, I said this to so many people. And when people said, why did you start changing your patients away from Zeo and then coming back to Zeo? Like what was your thought process? And actually, we have this lovely bobblehead right now of Dr. Obaji. And on the bobblehead, it says, no reaction, no repair. And what I said for so long is Zeo is outdated, because you don't have to have a reaction to get a good result. And what I have come to learn is that is not Zeo's approach whatsoever. I was taking one line that is on a bobblehead and taking that as an entire approach. So I want to talk about what is Zeo's approach, and is Zeo outdated science or has it continued to evolve?
So with Zeo, our whole big thing is restoring skin health. Your skin's an organ. It's your largest organ. So we need to get it functioning at a higher level, functioning at a healthy level, just like you would consider with your brain health, your gut health, et cetera, et cetera. And then ultimately, you get the things that you want on the surface. Now it's going to look beautiful, but it's healthy, functioning skin, getting to the source of the problem. And I'm sorry, you had a second question there. I just got really excited.
No, exactly that, of what is Zeo's approach, and is it outdated? Because newsflash, everyone, I'm going to jump to the punchline here. It's not whatsoever. It has continued to evolve. This isn't the exact same science as when Zeo first launched. There are new products, new innovations, new approaches for the exact same products that we have come to know and love and trust over the years. And it's just, how you're using them in what system. And it's so customizable too. So I would like to talk about what is Zeo's approach to skin health.
So ultimately the skin health, and to the dated comment. And I love you being transparent too about, I thought this, and now I might be changing my mind, or have changed my mind. I shouldn't say might. So one of the many things that I love about Zeo is that they are constantly going back to the science, constantly going back to the research. Things evolve. The way that We're able to investigate these issues, evolves, the science evolves. And you've seen that through new product launches, but even reformulations. And they're not going to be complacent and just stick with what we've had. We'll do reformulations every so often just to amplify the effect of those products.
I love that so much. And you are absolutely right. I have come full circle. And honestly, again, transparently, one of the things that we have come full circle on in practice is we got a Glimpse, which is similar to a Vizia. It's a skin imaging device where we're able to take a couple different light imaging of a patient's skin. We're able to see their pigmentation. We're able to see their inflammation, their fine lines and wrinkles right there on display with advanced imaging. And the imaging does not lie. And when you look at what the patients are using and how to use the different products, you kind of come full circle where you're like, okay, there are certain products that you just can't beat. But before we get to what we have discovered through this imaging with Zio's approach. So Zio has multiple different ways of using their product regimens, depending on if you have somebody. I'm going to use Katie and I as an example because Katie is I want to burn my face off. Let me throw everything. I'm going to throw the entire kitchen sink at my pigment right now. And I'm going to treat it. And then me on the rosacea side, and I mean, you have some people that have rosacea that want to throw the entire kitchen sink at it too. But me on the rosacea side and somebody that does not like downtime, I have an option within Zio's regimen as well. So can you talk a little bit about how you can use the Zio line and customize it as well?
Yes. Customization is key. Yeah. Just like you said, not everybody's it's not cookbook style method. Everybody's different. Say you do want to go hard and I want to go hard. We still have different skin and we both have rosacea, but our protocols might look different.
Oh, that's such a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. So customization is huge. I like to equate that that intensity of protocol to exercise. So if you take version of me that wants to get ready in 3 months for, say, some event, and I work out 2-3 times a week. Now let's say there's another version of me that, again, 3 months has a goal, but I'm going to work out 5 to 7 days a week. Which one's going to get more impactful results? Both are progress, but you're going to get more impactful results. This one, the 2 to 3 times a week, might just take a little bit longer to get to that goal. But which one's going to hurt more? This one over here, the one that's 5 to 7 days a week. Now, we have plenty of ways to help people get through those, tons of ways that we can talk about, but you're going to get to the end goal no matter what you choose. When I used to work in physical therapy, there's no way I would have done that aggressive approach. There's no way I would have shown up with my face flaking off and being red and stingy. I would have scared my patients away. And I respect that. I absolutely respect that. Now in life, I'm like, burn it down. Do it. I don't care. I'm thrilled to do it because it's kind of like jumping in a pool. You'll get to those results faster. You get it over with quicker. But what I want people to know is there's no right or wrong. You can do both. You're going to get to those end results. It's just going to look a little bit different. And what's best for you, your lifestyle? What are you going to be most compliant with?
What I also love about Zio's expansion of the line over the last several years as well is I'm going to use the workout idea as well. You might have somebody that really loves HIIT workouts and really likes going very high intensity versus somebody that really likes Pilates, and they're both working out the exact same amount of time throughout the week, but it's just intensity levels. I'm more on that Pilates side where I want those results and I'm willing to put in the time and the effort, but I want it to be low intensity, low impact. And there are now products to support that where you can still throw the entire kitchen sink, but you have these products to support so that it's not that red, dry, flaky, uncomfortable for 8 to 12 weeks. And I think that is what, when Zio first came out onto the market so long ago, I mean, Zio is really a staple inside of, it's a foundation point of the aesthetics specialty in general. I'm trying to change my phrasing from industry to specialty because it is medicine. So it is more of a specialty. It's just, I feel like industry has been so easy to say. Yeah. But when you think of the aesthetics specialty, Zio has been there since the beginning. And So I like that we have evolved from that. Okay, you have to look like a tomato for 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
There are products to support where you don't necessarily look like that, but you're still going at it with the same amount of intensity behind the scenes. Just like Pilates is a little bit more of that slow burn with it as well.
And to even at the mild reactions, the whole reason, the whole no reaction, no repair, that's not even really speaking to the intensity of the reactions. I'm happy with a reaction of just some mild flaking just to get some changes. Think of it again to the workout thing. You go to a HIIT class, you might be limping out of there by the end of the week because you're so sore.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, which one did I say? Did I say Pilates?
HIIT.
Oh, the HIIT class. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
I questioned myself. But say you want to do, maybe Pilates is also very challenging, but say you just decided to do something a little less intense, whatever it may be. You don't have to be limping out of there to make progress.
Yes.
Maybe just feeling a little bit of fatigue is still making progress. Yeah. So even when you're going mild, it is still progress.
And to give a definition to Dr. Obashi's quote here, no reaction, no repair, you're getting a reaction. It's just not that red, dry, flaky all the time.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Yes. It's exactly. It doesn't have to be. It could be. You could absolutely have the red, dry, flaky, especially if you're Katie and you're going into wintertime. She likes to spread her DNA everywhere when it comes to all of those skin cells falling off throughout the day.
Oh, yeah.
But that reaction can be tightening and toning and resurfacing, but in a more under the radar way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like to fly under the radar where all of a sudden people just look at you and say, oh my gosh, you look amazing. What are you doing different? Yes. Are you doing something different? Am I just exhausted and didn't realize how bad I look? You look so good. And then you can share your secret. It's ZO Skin Health.
I know. I'm so glad you asked about that because I do think it's a common misconception. Yeah. You might see that. You might see that from me walking in and I'll be tomato face with my DNA falling all over the place, but that's my choice. There's other ways. There's other routes to, like you said, customization.
Yes. Yeah. And actually, okay, correct me. I might say the name of this product wrong. Soothing ointment.
Yeah.
Is that? Yes. That's the right title, right?
Yes, soothing ointment is one of our products. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you guys have not tried it yet, you need to try it. So my mom actually fell in love with it. She started using it and she would go intense with it too. I think one pump is a good place to be at. She would do like 6 or 7 pumps, dry as the Sahara, but she would use so much of it. And she absolutely loved it. She ended up sneaking it onto my son. He has a little bit of baby eczema, especially as we're starting solid foods. He will have flare-ups with his skin depending on what he's trying. And we're noticing what he has sensitivities to. But she started using soothing ointment on my son's cheeks and didn't tell me for like 4 days. And then she reached out to Katie and was like, hey, Katie, is there anything inside of this that I shouldn't be putting on Easton's face? And Katie was like, no, you're good to go. And she's like, great. Okay, now I'll tell Delaney that I started using it then. And she wasn't going to tell me if there was something inside of it that she wasn't supposed to use.
I love the grandma role.
Great. We're just going to ask for forgiveness. And this was all while I was at Aesthetic Next for the week. So it was my first time away from him. And within the first day, she was like, let me put this skincare
slapping stuff on his face.
See how it works.
I love it.
But it has been major. So I actually ended up swiping one of her tubes from her and I just have it at the diaper station. And in the morning I put it on his skin and it just supports his barrier function as well, which whether you are 99 or you are 6 months old, you need to be supporting your barrier function. And that's our jobs for our kiddos. And then as we go through life as well, to go back to skin health at the base, which I love.
Absolutely.
Okay, pivoting now back to We Got the Glimpse. We have this imaging. We've been taking patient images for quite some time now. And what we noticed is that there is nothing quite like Bright Alive when it comes to pigment correction. Of course, you have your hydroquinone, you have all your different pigment products within the ZO Skin Health line. But can you talk a little bit about Bright Alive specifically and why we love it so much?
Yeah. Bright Alive is fantastic. First of all, patients are instantly satisfied by the texture, the smell of it. But with Bright Alive, it's great for, yes, mild correction, but also prevention. A lot of people lose sight of the whole prevention aspect. I want to, yes, clear your pigment, but also let's make a point to make your melanocytes more resilient, make them stronger so that we don't have to, go aggressive every time, or we don't have to peel your face off every time when you have more pigmentation. So with Bright Alive, it has a really fun ingredient called an intelligent peptide drone. Are you familiar with this?
I am, but please tell us more.
Sure, yes. So this is where I get into my my nerdy, sciencey side.
Oh, give it all to us.
So
This is the right place for it. Yeah.
Yes, good. So the intelligent peptide drone basically has these layers. So it starts with this outer shell that kind of serves as like a GPS to find the location that it's trying to target. Yeah. Then it connects to these receptors, and all while inside of that is the ingredient that is protected as it's traveling through your skin cells and then gets delivered to the exact spot where it needs to be, to those melanocyte receptors. So it's a really, I think that's a really cool product, or I'm sorry, a really cool ingredient, I should say. Yeah, that is one that should be in every pigmentation protocol, hands down.
I am absolutely obsessed with it. Katie always has been, but what we have found with our patient imaging, I think that saying mild correction for pigment is being very modest.
Yeah.
I think it's not necessarily the heaviest hitter that you could put towards pigment. However, it yields major results when you are looking at what it's actually doing. And we have seen incredible repair at the dermal level of that pigment production, prevention, of course, as well, but correction.
Yeah.
So it's not just preventing, it really is giving that major, I will say it because I know
go ahead.
Technicality wise, I know it's a product that's not quote unquote supposed to yield such strong results as it does. The science is there and it just has incredible results. And it is definitely one that if we have somebody that comes in, whether they are prone to pigment and don't have pigment yet, or they are at the beginning of their pigment correction journey and they have a lot of, whether it be sun damage or melasma or whatever it may be, we are adding Bright Alive into their regimen. And it's just so good.
Yeah. And a lot of patients lose sight of, guess what? You can use it on the body. We still have skin. Sun damage on your chest. And I've seen people use it under their arms. A lot of practices when they're doing the laser hair removal, their providers don't like the darkness under their arms from the years of shaving. Bright Alive anywhere.
Okay, I love that you said you can use it on different parts of your body, but I think that this leads to an important point that we should talk about while we're on it. What is the amount that you should use? For example, if you're treating your face and you're treating your neck, I'm going to use complexion renewal pads as an example because I love complexion renewal pads. There is nothing else in the market that I've seen that even comes close to the job that it does because it's so specific and effective and easy to use for a patient. I mean, you can use one pad. There are practitioners out there that'll say cut it in half, even cut it into fourths. Can we talk about why you shouldn't do that? And if you are treating your face and your entire décolletage, how many pads you should use?
Yes. So I like to tell people you're in the big leagues. You know, you're in professional grade products where research has gone into the formulations and the protocols. So everything that I'm about to say about amounts that you're talking about is based off of research. So our rule of thumb is 2 pumps minimum to the area of your face, or sometimes we'll say like 2 hands.
Yep.
So to the toning pad.
Yes.
It hurts a little bit when people talk about cutting them into quarters, cutting them into halves. It's all about the concentration of ingredients. One of my favorite analogies to use is if you make tea, you put a tea bag into a little mug. That's the right amount of tea. That tastes great, right? But if I take that tea bag and put it into a giant pitcher, now that's really diluted. So when your patients are thinking just coverage and they might use a pump or half a pump, okay, you really just kind of gotten the surface, but have you gotten the right concentration of ingredients to really penetrate your skin? So to the toning pads, we want a full pad, front, back, till it's dry for your face.
Per area. If you're treating your décolletage, that should be a separate pad.
Technically, yeah. And you might even find yourself, you know, a lot of us, we tend to be more oily on the face, but not so much on the chest. Call me toner. But maybe on your face, you could go complexion renewal pads. You can kind of switch it up if you want to be extra with it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say that's extra if you want to be a little bit more specific in how you treat. But yeah, 1 full pad, morning, and then again at night.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, it's also people kind of start to lose sight of, it's to improve the penetration of your following products. So if you're cutting them in half, I kind of say you're kind of cutting in half the efficacy of your products that are following. If you're not if you're not effectively prepping, cleansing, exfoliating, toning the skin, how well can my products penetrate those other barriers? Sebum is known to have the same consistency as honey on the face. So if you don't have a quality cleanser, and if you're not effectively controlling that oil or that honey consistency with your toners, how well can, say, my Daily Power Defense penetrate through that honey? So that amount is really, really crucial for optimal results.
Yeah.
The other part is what are you cutting that toning pad in half with?
Dirty scissors.
You're probably grabbing your junk drawer scissors that you just opened your Amazon packages with and then cutting them in half. So not super sanitary either. But it's all for maximal results. It's not meant to get you through the product faster so you buy it faster. It's for results.
Yes,
it's
and
because we love you.
It's because we love you. Another pro tip as well is when you have your complexion renewal pads or your oil control pads, when you take one out of the top, flip it over. And when you take one out again, flip it over the other way. And so you're just, every time you take one out, you just keep flipping it. That way, every single pad has the proper amount of serum on it, because how many of us have gone through our entire jar and then there's all of that serum at the bottom, but if you flip it, you don't have at the end.
Yeah,
so
I love that you said that.
Keep flipping it back and forth. I actually had a patient teach me that. Isn't that funny?
I love that.
I know. I tell all of my patients that, but she works in a lab. She's one of the smartest people that I've ever met. She teaches me so much.
I would love to talk
I know
to
I
her.
teach her things too, but she teaches me so much.
Yeah.
And she said, "Hey, I don't know if you do this or not, but this is what I do." And she's just so humble of like, "Have you ever done this before? This is what I do." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, no, I don't." But I'm telling everybody to do that. And that was probably, oh my gosh, that was right when I started in aesthetics. So that was 7 years ago.
Learning a lot at that early stage, right?
But that is how long that we've had Zeo. Zeo was the first line that we actually carried in our practice, and we have multiples of different lines, but Zeo has always been consistent for us, and we have our tried and true products. Katie would be very upset if we didn't mention her favorite, which is Polish. She loves Polish.
Yes.
Can you talk about Polish a little bit as well?
Our gateway drug.
Yes.
I say that in all the best ways.
I say it's like a spa in a bottle because it just, or in a tub, because it just smells so good.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, and we'll talk about it more, but at the end of the day, it does give you the instant gratification that we all want.
Yes.
Who doesn't want instant gratification? How smooth is your skin after you use that?
So smooth. Yes. And as you're talking about Polish, because I want you to give us the overview, but also who all can use it, AKA if you have acne, can you use this as well, and why you should be using it?
Yes.
So if you can give us an overview of all those.
Yes. I'm trying to, in my brain, streamline. I have so much I could say.
I know, right? It could be an entire class of its own.
I know. Yeah. How much does it take till people start clicking off?
Right? Yeah. When do we lose people?
Yeah. So when it comes to exfoliation, physical exfoliation, it's really important because our skin cells go through a whole life cycle. I'm really going back. Sorry.
Yeah. No, this is perfect. Yeah.
Our skin goes through a life cycle. And when it gets to the top, especially as we get older, once it's to the top, it kind of struggles to get off, if you will, especially if you're more oily. That also struggles to go through its own, what's called desquamation, its own natural exfoliation process.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we start to have that buildup, then we start to see texture in the skin. We start to see acne. We start to see crepiness in the skin. So first of all, everybody needs to do physical exfoliation. Even if you're sensitive, you can do gentle exfoliation. We have tips and tricks that we train everybody on to make it comfortable and make it, I'm going to go with safe. It's probably not the best word, but to make it comfortable in a way so that you are restoring the barrier and kind of building up your skin's strength.
Yes, you're not tearing it down more by being too abrasive.
Exactly. So there's ways to get through that when you are sensitive. So to the exfoliation, I like to think of it as like an escalator. So as your skin cells go up through that life cycle, they're going up the escalator. And when they get to the top, if they're not clearing the way, we start to have issues like the congestion, like the texture in the skin.
Mm-hmm. Or just product absorption in general.
Absolutely.
You start to block that product penetration.
Yeah. Absolutely. So through ZO, again, back to the research, they've put a lot of effort into the formulations. This is not your average, I won't say the names, but this isn't your average scrub that maybe people are familiar with that might tear up their skin. This is,
if it's a nut, it should not be a scrub.
Yeah,
We're just going to say that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. This is formulated and safety tested so that it can be used every single day on the right patient. So in general, especially once you've helped a patient kind of get to a better place with their barrier, we recommend anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week to every single day. I'm an every single day exfoliator. I'm acne prone. I have rosacea. I'm oily. The oil is causing all of those things. So I do really fantastic with daily exfoliation. The other thing I like to emphasize is this is not exfoliation. We are scrubbing so hard to remove all the things that you hate off your face. That is not to patients that give you tips and tricks. Mm-hmm. I had a patient several years ago that she's like, I just think of it as like scrubbing a balloon. I'm like, yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's a great analogy.
It's a fantastic
be as gentle as scrubbing a balloon. Yep.
Let the beads do the work. Mm-hmm. And you'll thank me later. I mean, it really is that instant gratification product. But again, like you said, helping to remove the dead skin cells and then leading to improved product penetration.
And calming and soothing the skin as well. That's why with rosacea, you can use this scrub because that is something that you want to be careful of when you have rosacea or when you have acne, any sort of inflammatory condition. You need to be careful about how much abrasion you have to the skin. And this is something that is actually helping to calm the skin as well.
Yes. And you have to think about what caused that acne in the first place. Build up of dead skin cells. We need to get that out of the way. Of course, there's a cascade effect. There's so much more to acne, but it's starting with that buildup in the follicle. Follicle. So it's perfectly fine. We're not trying to, again, back to the intensity of it. We're not trying to scrub so hard that we're busting open the lesions. I absolutely do not recommend that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're not popping the balloon.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We'll heal it. Give it time. Let it heal itself.
Yes.
So if you have a patient that you know is maybe prone to those kind of habits, help educate them. Yep. We have exfoliating polish that is kind of like your most universal scrub, and then we have dual action scrub that is really especially geared towards your more acne prone people that has a little bit more salicylic acid and lactic acid, again, to help kind of clear those lesions that they came to you with.
Yeah.
Another thing that I like to remind patients of is you have about 22 layers of dead skin sitting on the surface. Dead skin, serving no purpose.
Does that just feel gross to say?
Yeah. So enjoy the exfoliation on a regular basis. It's okay.
I love it. And again, it's going back to product penetration. You're helping the rest of your products work better by starting with this step as well. I love it. Okay, ZO is known for utilizing growth factors and peptides and antioxidants and all of the good things. And ZO actually has a brand new product that just launched. Can we talk about that? You actually brought it in beautiful new packaging as well.
She's so pretty.
Tell us all about this new product. What's the name and what's the details?
Yes. Okay. So our new science in sculpting is peptide facial refining concentrate.
Love. Yes. And guys, look at how beautiful of a packaging this is too. I already said this to Janelle, but I would love if ZO moved towards this packaging in general. Their packaging is pretty to begin with, but this is just stunning. Like that is so luxurious all the way around.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Don't want to get stuck on the packaging. But
I mean,
it's, so
it's mesmerizing. Really.
And it's a beautiful Kentucky blue, which I love. When we talk about bleeding blue, when I think of bleeding blue, I think of the University of Kentucky, who I'm a big fan of. But that might be a reason that I'm partial to ZO as well. Yeah. Anyways, tell us about this.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this new launch. So as if I was part of the formulation process.
You're part of the team.
I encourage them.
Yes.
I fully have their back. I actually love our research and development team. Got to meet them early in the spring, and I am such a fan. I mean, I will start a fan page. They are so impressive, every single one of them.
Isn't it so cool to learn directly from like the R&D team of your favorite lines?
Oh my gosh. So our whole training team got to go out there, and we were all we wanted to spend the entire week there. We were just completely nerding out, having fantastic conversations, just completely fangirling. It was really great.
I mean, you always hear don't meet your heroes, but I think when it comes to research and development, you should meet your heroes because it makes you, when you meet the people behind your favorite products, it makes you believe in the products so much more, and it teaches you so much more too because they can give you knowledge that you can't get from anywhere else.
Yes.
It's on no marketing materials. It's hard to find it in educational materials because they get so into the nitty gritty with things, but it's meet your heroes.
Yes. I will sometimes tell people when I refer to that visit, I'm like, one of the biggest things I learned was that there's still so much I don't know about cosmetic formulations. There's so much. And that's to patients as well. You know, just because you see an ingredient on a product, there's a lot more to it behind the delivery systems and the formulations. It's very impressive.
Yes.
If I ever change careers again, which I don't plan on.
You're going to go into R&D. I love it. Okay. I got you so distracted
I'm sorry.
there. But yes, back to our lovely new product launch.
Yes. So we have 4 different peptides in this product to provide wrinkle modulation, volumizing, and overall facial geometry benefits. So that's kind of
so cool to hear.
I know.
Tell us what that means.
Yes. Okay. So we have, excuse me as I shift a little bit. So we have peptides that are going to help address your superficial dynamic lines and wrinkles, like around the eyes and on the forehead.
Yeah.
Another peptide gets a little bit deeper, hits more of those static lines and wrinkles. Another peptide in there is going to be voluminizing and stimulating your own hyaluronic acid. And then there's a 4th one that is working on something called anisotropy. You and I have not talked about this yet.
Okay, tell me more.
Yes. So, and I actually, I have this little like toy that I've been using in trainings to kind of create. I'm very much a visual person.
Yeah.
So excuse me as my hands start flying. But
give us the visuals. Tell us the things.
So basically, in healthy skin, your collagen fibers are in a mesh-like pattern so that they can be stretched and pulled in different directions and bounce back easily. As we get older, things shift. And now those fibers kind of go into more of a unilateral direction. And when they go into that unilateral direction, they're not as flexible as they were before. And now we're starting to see shifts in the skin that lead to the lines and the wrinkles.
Less bounce.
Yes.
Just less luminosity in return as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what that is doing, peptides are like little smart signalers, and they kind of get your skin cells to, or even just the collagen fibers, kind of send signals and give them different jobs. So it's teaching your fibers to realign in a way that is more conducive to younger, healthier skin.
I love that.
I know. So our studies and our people that have started using the product, they're starting to see, of course, less lines, less wrinkles. But to that facial geometry that we're talking about, they're starting to see more of like that V shape in the skin, more sculpted jawline.
Yes.
The other thing to think about is, sure, we do injectables all the time. Here I go with my hands again. We do injectables, but you can't put a needle in every inch of your face, right? Yet there's still signs of aging in those other areas. You've got the peptide to complement that, to help fill in the gaps, no pun intended, in areas that we can't apply those in-office services. And then to the people that maybe don't want to do injectables, not ready, not for them, whatever it may be, great, go ahead and get started on this as a preventative measure. It doesn't even have to be preventative, because you'll see when we dig into a little bit more, you'll see before and afters where they don't have the injectables. They're going through our clinical studies for 12 weeks and still getting really impactful results by just using that product.
I'm assuming that this is also a great option for those that are using GLP-1s or other medical weight loss programs, because when you think about it, when you go through a major weight loss journey, you tend to have sagging skin, whether that's on your face, whether that's on your abdomen. But that's something that we think about, and especially in the plastics realm, that's when you get the mommy makeovers from their skin stretching out and then needing that kind of nipped and tucked back into place, or just shrinking it back. You get the texture and everything. And this feels like the perfect option for those wellness patients to start on as well, if they haven't crossed over into the aesthetic side as your practice.
Yeah.
So if you are a wellness practice, this is a great option to bring in as well.
Yes, absolutely. It would make me so sad if somebody went through all the work to make those changes with the GLP-1s that you mentioned and then not be happy with what they're seeing in the mirror just because of what can happen with that more rapid weight loss. So,
and we hear that so often in practice. So at Beyond Skin Aesthetics, we say that we take an internal approach to external beauty, and we really are blending both sides together. But we do have a predominant wellness practice, as well as then, our aesthetic side that was kind of, we really came from both directions. Dr. Malumba is a functional medicine doctor at heart. He always has been. And then, of course, we started an aesthetics practice. So we've always had this approach. But as wellness has become more pertinent in society, we really have expanded it. And that is something that for us, we have that conversation with our patients when they come in. We, of course, want our patients to be on both sides of our practice, the wellness and the aesthetic side. But for those that aren't, utilizing in the aesthetics offerings that we have, we talk to them about, you're on hormone replacement therapy. This is what you can expect in your skin. This is why you should use this topical product, or this is why you should take this supplement that helps with vitamin D production, or whatever it may be. And this goes hand in hand with that as a tool to educate your patients on what they can expect during their weight loss journey or during their hormone replacement therapy journey, as well as then your typical aesthetics patient that's coming in for their injectables or their lasers or their microneedling sessions. This kind of fits this is a staple in everyone's routine at this point. And mind-blowing too to think that it is training your collagen and elastin fibers to get back to that lateral lattice pattern that gives it that strength and that bounce, because that's what we all want. That's the youthful appearance that we get, is the bounce in the skin. It gets rid of the fine lines and the wrinkles. It just lifts, tightens, sculpts. And if you hear lifts, tightens, and sculpts, I think that every person on the planet says, I want that.
Nobody's saying no.
Nobody's saying no to that.
Nobody.
That's just too good.
I always say that everybody's an anti-aging patient, whether it's correction or prevention. And if you say no to that, I have more questions. Not judgment, but I want to understand what you're saying, because most people, they're an anti-aging patient.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so when did our lovely new friend come to the market?
She is brand new. She just came out last week. And so she is...
at the time of this recording. So what day did it launch?
Oh, you're asking me dates. The 13th...
Mid-September.
No.
This launched mid-September, we're going to say.
There you go.
Yeah. Sometime mid-September.
Yes. It launched sometime mid-September. The exact date is escaping me right now.
Yes.
I always tease with my husband that, and again, this goes back to my former background, but I'm all over in my medical chart says poor historian. I am really mad.
That's so funny. We are so excited about this at Beyond Skin Aesthetics too. We are definitely going to be offering this. My mom has been utilizing this product since we got our little tester guy right before it launched, and she's obsessed with it. Which a surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise. Everybody, I'm pretty sure that would use this would be obsessed with it. And it's beautiful. And she's the original Kentucky fan, so it might be the packaging that
very
got her
fitting
first.
for her.
Yes. And then the science came afterwards. The packaging roped her in, and then the science is what kept her. But we love it. We're super excited about this innovation.
Aww.
Thank you so much for coming on today. Before we go, I like to ask all of my guests one question, and that is, what is beautiful to you? And you can take that any direction that you want, but what is something that is beautiful to you?
I love that you asked this question. I swear it gives me goosebumps. I think that's a really sweet, really genuine question. So to me, and hopefully as I elaborate on it, it'll make sense, but I don't want it to seem like a cop-out initially.
Yeah.
But to me, beautiful is healthy. And I think that can go in a lot of directions. Of course, with ZO, we talk about skin health. That's important. let's talk about healthy relationships, healthy boundaries, loving yourself, mental health, physical health, all of it. And I think when you get to that place in life, and maybe that's always an evolving journey, right? That's okay. But when you get to that place in life, that is beautiful to me. There are people out there that's, certain celebrities are popping up in my mind, but we won't say it. But there's certain people out there that maybe aesthetically are part of that definition of health. But if you are how I would describe ugly to those around you, or maybe even to yourself, I don't care what you look like, I'm instantly kind of turned off by your energy and your personality and things like that. So to me, overall healthy. And I think that really resonates when you interact with people.
I love that so much for multiple different reasons. The it factor is definitely what's going on the inside, not necessarily what's going on the outside. But when you think about skin health, you think about the balance between the skin, the gut, and the brain, and you're thinking of your body's function overall. And when you think of health in general, it really is that overall balance of your life of, do you have those healthy relationships? Are you taking care of your mental health? Are you taking care of your physical health? Are you taking care of the environment around you? I think that that's a huge part as well. And are you loving on yourself? And I think that there was such a push for self-love for so long that now we've almost flipped backwards, and people aren't paying attention to, do they respect themselves and have self-worth? I think that there is a difference between self-love and self-worth. Yes. And that self-worth is what is so beautiful and kind of gives you that well-rounded setting boundaries, having those healthier relationships. Because when you have self-worth, you will invest your time in your relationships and in the work that you're doing, and the into even your own appearance and how you're taking care of yourself. So I love that, because it goes so much broader than just being healthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the physical sense of like eating your vegetables.
Yes. I think
so
that
much more
is
than that.
Truly beautiful.
I love that. I love your definition of beauty in that sense. Janelle, thank you so much for joining today on the Bright Side of Beauty podcast.
Thank you.
Can you pimp yourself out, pimp out Zeo? If somebody isn't a Zeo partner and wants to become one, where they can, but also if they want to connect with you, Janelle, where can they find you?
Do you know this is my weakest point? Now you're making me talk about myself. Okay. So
we started off that way and you did wonderful. You can do it. Pimp yourself out.
You're sweet. So I'm sorry. If they want to be a partner.
Yes, we'll start there. If they want to be a Zeo partner, how can they reach out to Zeo Skin Health?
Yes. So ultimately, I mean, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. My email is jkenney, Kenney, @zeoskinhealth.com. And I can help direct you to, you have different account executives in different regions, yours being Natalie, right?
Yes.
So if you're in the Columbus area, there is Natalie McCurdy that supports the region, but I can always connect you with the right person. And I'm sorry, your other question
is you. If somebody wants to connect with you personally, so you dropped your email.
Yes.
But can you drop your Instagram?
I do have
anything
Instagram.
else?
That's as far as I go with social media. I'm not as savvy with the other things, but yes. So my Instagram handle is Janelle, Janelle, Janelle K _Zeo Skin Health. And I am happy to chat. I'm happy to repost anything you want.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This has been such an informative episode and so fun to get to know you better as well. So again, thank you for joining on the Bright Side. And friends, you can find all of this information down in the show notes as well. You can shop some of our favorite Zeo products, not on our website, on our microsite link that you can reach on BeyondSkinAesthetics.com, or if you go to shop BeyondSkinAesthetics.com, you can go to the brand drop-down menu and go straight to Zeo Skin Health as well. And of course, you can shop in office anytime, or we can do custom orders for you. So feel free to reach out to us there at BeyondSkinAesthetics.com or shop BeyondSkinAesthetics.com. And we will see you next week on the Bright Side of Beauty podcast.